All right, today we are diving into a culinary fusion that is just an absolute flavor explosion, the West African peanut and chili seafood boil. Seriously, get ready, because we're going to see how two incredible food traditions can come together in one single pot.
So what do you get? Well, you get this fiery, savory, and totally unforgettable twist on a comfort food you probably already know and love. This is so much more than just a recipe. It's a brilliant collision of culinary worlds. And the key inspiration? It all comes from a West African stew called mafe.
Okay, so to really get this boil, you first have to understand mafe. It's this incredibly rich and aromatic stew, and it's all built on a base of peanuts and tomatoes. You can really think of it as the flavor engine that we're borrowing for this entire dish. It's the secret sauce, so to speak.
All right, let's kick things off with a quick overview of what making this bold new boil is actually all about. We'll hit the time, the servings, and the key components just to show you how straightforward this can really be.
So, from start to finish, you're only looking at about 45 minutes of cooking time. Now, for a dish this impressive, this flavorful, that's remarkably fast. It makes it totally perfect for a weekend get-together or, hey, even a really ambitious weeknight meal.
Yeah, this recipe is definitely designed for sharing. It's going to serve a group of about 4 to 6 people. And trust me, with flavors this bold, this is the kind of meal everyone is going to be talking about long after it's gone.
Okay, now we're getting to the real heart of the dish, the mafe-style broth. This right here is the flavor engine. It's where all the magic happens, and it's what's going to separate this recipe from any seafood boil you've ever had before. I promise. I know the ingredient list might look a little long, but don't worry, it breaks down into two really key groups. First up, you've got your aromatics and spices, the onion, garlic, ginger, and that fiery Scotch bonnet pepper. They build that initial layer of flavor. Then you've got the foundation, red palm oil, broth, and of course that creamy peanut butter that creates that signature richness.
Okay, listen up, because this is probably the single most important tip in the entire recipe. If you've ever made a peanut sauce that turned out kind of grainy, this is for you. The secret is to turn the heat way down to low before you even think about whisking in that peanut butter. See, if the heat's too high, the oils in the peanut butter can separate out too fast, and that's what gives you that gritty texture. But if you whisk it in slowly over low heat, you get this beautiful, stable emulsion, which guarantees a perfectly velvety, smooth broth every single time.
So building this incredible broth flavor is actually a simple 3-step process. First, you saute the aromatics and bloom the spices. That really wakes them up and releases all their essential oils. Next, you whisk in the peanut butter to get that creamy, rich base. And finally, you just let it all simmer, letting all those different flavors meld together into one cohesive, totally delicious broth.
So once that amazing broth is bubbling away and smelling incredible, it's time to actually build the boil. We're bringing in all those classic components that everyone knows and loves.
You know what I'm talking about, the essentials. We've got tender little red potatoes that are just going to soak up all that incredible broth, sweet corn for a pop of freshness, and some smoky sausage, like andouille, to add another deep, savory layer. These are the hearty components that make it a truly satisfying meal. And now, it's time for the grand finale. This is where we add the seafood and turn this amazing broth into a full-blown boil. So pay attention, because this part moves fast.
Cooking sequence here is really a carefully layered process. The potatoes, they go in first, right? Because they take the longest to get tender. Then, after about 15 minutes, the corn and the sausage join the party. And then, for just the last few minutes of cooking, and I mean just a few minutes, that's when you add the delicate seafood. You do it last so it doesn't get tough and overcooked.
A really great mix to try is some shrimp, maybe some mussels, and those beautiful snow crab clusters. But you know what? Don't be afraid to adapt it with your favorites. The real key is just to use a variety of seafood that cooks up nice and quick in that final stage. Okay, stop. This is a critical decision point. Remember those whole Scotch bonnet peppers that have been infusing the broth with all that flavor and heat? Well, if you take them out before you serve, you get this wonderful, stable spice level. It's warm, it's delicious, but if you're a real heat seeker and you leave them in, that spiciness is just going to keep on building. So you got to choose your own adventure here. So you've built all those layers of flavor, you've cooked everything perfectly, and now it's time for the best part, serving it all up. And whatever you do, please do not skip the garnishes. They're not just for looks.
That fresh cilantro adds this amazing burst of brightness. The roasted peanuts give you a fantastic crunch that totally echoes the flavor in the broth. And a few extra lemon wedges let everyone customize that acidity to their own liking. They're essential.
You know, the serving style is really half the fun of a seafood boil. You can go super traditional and just spread everything out on a newspaper-lined table. Or, just use a big platter. But the most important step? You've got to spoon that incredible peanut chili broth generously all over everything before you hit it with those final garnishes.
And there you have it. The final dish is just this masterpiece of textures and flavors. It's fiery, it's so creamy from that peanut butter, and it's absolutely packed with that savory umami richness. This is, without a doubt, a next-level seafood boil.
Seeing how two completely distinct culinary traditions can merge like this to create something so new and delicious, it's just really inspiring, isn't it? It kind of leaves us with one final question to think about. What unexpected culinary fusion are you going to be inspired to try next?